I'd like to call this mock city council meeting to order. We apologize for being late. We just got back from London. Our flag salute this morning will be led by Mayor Pro Tem Hammack. Everyone please rise.
Thanks, Ms. Mayor. Please face the flag and put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Hammack. Please be seated. Madam City Clerk, will you please call roll?
Councilmember Bowers.
Here.
Hammack.
Here.
Henning.
Present.
Wilkinson. Here. Mayor Clements.
Present.
Thank you.
Madam City Clerk, please administer the oath of office.
Of course. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Francis Clements,
Do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and to the Constitution of the State of California. That I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Now we will open it up for public comments. Madam City Clerk, do we have any public comments this morning?
Yes, ma'am. We have 3.
Call the first speaker, please.
Unaware.
A total of 30 minutes is provided so members of the public may address the council on items that appear within the consent calendar or ones that are not listed on the agenda. Speakers who are limited to 3 minutes each. If you desire to speak to the council on an item which is listed on the consent calendar or matter not listed on the agenda, a pink request to speak form should be filled out and filed with the city clerk.
Well, good morning, Mayor Clements and city council members. I must say that I am Mr. Unaware. My brother Not and I came to Temecula in 1930. Went to school over here at the old Temecula school with my teacher, Mr. Kingsburg. He's long gone by now, I'm sure. But I just woke up from a nap recently, and y'all look so young and beautiful, except, of course, Mr. Adams. But I want to proceed here and just get on with it and say, you know, I think Temecula is going to grow, and it's going to grow a lot. And we're going to grow fast, and we need a lot of things. For example, you know, I don't understand this iPod and I this and I that, but we need a library so that folks like myself can show up and open up a book and read it. If we're going to have a lot of people in the community, then we need a lot of parks, some place where we can stretch our legs out and walk our dogs and our children with leashes. You know what I'm talking about? We also need public transportation, so we need buses. I'm thinking maybe these little red cars that'll drive people around. I'm sorry, what? Oh, I've been told we have parks, so maybe you guys have been doing a good job. After all, we do have, sorry? We got the library as well. Well, son of a gun. What else do we need here in this? Yeah, well, we got a trolley too. Well, I guess I am unaware, and you guys have been doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Call the next speaker, please.
Sarah Palin.
I am just so tickled to be here. Good morning, council members. Don't you know that Temecula enjoys an approximate 70-30 split between Republicans and Democrats, respectively? This is why I have come to Temecula today. Thank you for having me, by the way. I don't know if you're aware that these city council elections are nonpartisan, which brings me to my current plea. I move to make the city council elections in Temecula partisan. Why, you ask? How do we really know what your true intentions are? If we don't know your true party affiliation, do we really know who we have elected to this city council? Do we really know who these people are? I think we're under attack. A liberal infiltration of our city government is underway. For example, did you know Councilmember Henning travels to Sweden quite a bit? A socialist country. In fact, I have knowledge that he has actually been on a backpacking trip. Well, I think you all know what that means. And I need not point out his choice in the length of hair. I think the jury is in on Councilmember Henning, Liberal number 1, who has managed to infiltrate our city government. Moving on to Councilmember Bowers. She has admitted to working for former Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, a Democrat. Case closed for Councilmember Bowers. Liberal member number 2. Finally, I come to Councilmember Hammock. In his campaign speech, he talked about coming from poverty. We all know what that is code for, expanding welfare. Liberal number 3 proven. So here we are. Liberals have managed to infiltrate and take over the majority of the positions on our city council. I plead with you to move our city council elections to partisan elections so we can prevent this very event from happening again. Thank you.
Thank you. Will you call the next speaker, please?
Mr. Quiet.
Good morning, Council. My name is Mr. Quiet. Thank you all for making it so quiet. I live at 24/7 Silence's Golden Lane here in Temecula. And I would like you to do something about noise control here in our beautiful city. I am asking the council to enact a noise ordinance prohibition. I would like that prohibition to start at midnight, 12 a.m., and go to 11:59 p.m. 7 days a week, because Mr. Quiet needs it very quiet in this quiet, idyllic town. Reasons for my concern: I have a kid across the street who bangs on the drums. I can't take my nap every day. I work at a school. I have kids that walk around with guitars and play them randomly here and there. In fact, one of them, Mr. Hammock, has been named your Mayor Pro Tem. I go to Old Town and like to have a nice, quiet dinner. Yet there are people there who are making noise. They are laughing. They are having a good time. They are enjoying themselves. What's up with this? There's live music in your town. There's things happening in Old Town. We need to make Temecula back to a very quiet place, because remember, Mr. Quiet needs it very quiet in Temecula. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, will you call the next speaker, please?
Yes. B. Hart.
Hello, City Council, Mayor. My name is Bleeding, last name Hart. And I just want you to know that the speaker 2 speakers ago, the lady that wants partisan elections, I don't know what rock she's been under. I know how you people think. I voted for each and every one of you. But I think you can do a better job. We need to sustain. We need to get rid of all those people living way out there in the urban sprawl area and move them all downtown. That way they won't have to drive their cars. They can just walk everywhere. Think of what we could save. All the gas we're wasting, all the electricity we're wasting, all the pollution we're creating, we could just walk. And those people that drive out of town for work, they don't need to work. They're just working so they can have money to spend on more things that just pollute. If they would just stay here, live right here in downtown, we'd all have a great life. We could just walk. We could have a vegetable garden and grow our own food. We don't need those restaurants, and we certainly don't need them all, because it's too far to walk to anyway, since we're all going to be living right here in downtown. So, keep up the good work. I know how you people think. That's why I voted for all of you. I don't need to know what party you're in, as long as you're left of center. Don't listen to that wingnut. I'm with you. Bleeding Heart's the name.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, are there any more speakers?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to City Council reports. Reports by the members of the City Council on matters not on the agenda will be made at this time. A total not to exceed 10 minutes will be devoted to these reports. Do we have any City Council members that wish to speak?
Yes, I would like to thank our police chief and fire chief on behalf of their respective departments for maintaining the safety of our city.
Anyone else? Yes?
I was recently contacted by some students in the high schools that would like the city to plan and organize an event in which graduating seniors can connect with other students that will be going to college in either the same region or maybe just the same university, so they can create connections with friends that will be out in the same areas when they leave our lovely city of Temecula, possibly find roommates or carpool with other commuting students.
That's a good point. Should we have staff look into it?
Yes, that would be great.
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to thank Madam City Clerk and Madam City Manager for all the hard work they've been putting in. Some great organization on behalf of the clerk and all the research that you've been doing lately on all the things we've discussed. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anything else? That completes City Council reports. Now we will continue on to council business, starting with item number 1. Budget appropriation and business plan for the Temecula Small Business Incubator and Resource Center, located at 43200 Business Park Drive. May we have a staff report, please?
Yes. Good morning, Madam Mayor and City Council members. In the fall of 2010, the city prepared for its relocation of the new Civic Center in Old Town, which brought up the question as to what the future may hold for the old City Hall. One of the preferred options that staff has discussed with the Civic Center subcommittees is the creation of a business incubator in this vacant space. At this time, I'd like to invite up our Economic Development Director, Brittany Armstrong, and our Economic Development Analyst, Duran Delgadeo, and to provide a staff presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam City Manager. Good morning, Madam Mayor, council members. Like our Madam City Manager said, this is our Economic Development Director, Brittany Armstrong. I'm the Economic Development Analyst, Duran Delgadeo. And the City Council had asked us to come up with a strategic use of our old City Hall building while helping our local businesses grow. And that idea, that task has thus spawned our business incubator. And so just real quick, the business incubator will be a strategic use of the old City Hall. And after 20 cities that have come up with such business incubators, such as Ventura, Pasadena, and one at San Diego State University, we have found that it gains much success and is a great starting point for the small local businesses to help grow.
So, simply put, the Business Incubator is a place where businesses in the Valley can grow. This is a place where we can take the young innovators and entrepreneurs in Temecula and put them in a professional environment. A lot of these people have great ideas but don't really know how to get them off the ground. That's what the Business Incubator would be. It would be a place subsidized by the city, provided by the city for these young innovators. It would be a one-stop shop for them, meaning that they would have access to technology and high-quality resources. They would have their own offices in this building, and that's where they would get their start. The city would also provide workshops as well as consultants to get these companies off the ground. We would do the business part. We would show them and teach them how to do the business part of their companies while they create these ideas and turn their ideas into a successful company. We would use people in the community of Temecula as consultants. We would ask for help from other well-developed companies to come into the incubator and give workshops. That would create a strong network of community partners. Our goals for the incubator is after 5 years, not after 5 years, but the companies will eventually grow and they will eventually become successful and graduate from the incubator system and create their headquarters in Temecula. This would create higher wage jobs where people with college level diplomas will be needed. We will be bringing people into Temecula to work for these companies that have a range of skills. They will be bringing their children and enhancing our schools. It will make Temecula a better place in all facets of the city. We want to enhance economic health of the region by, again, taking these young entrepreneurs and helping their companies get off the ground to create these major corporations with their headquarters in Temecula. We also want to help grow our local businesses by, again, bringing more people into Temecula with the skill sets to make Temecula a better place.
So the fiscal impact of the business incubator, we will be using $65,000 from the Dutch Villages settlement as a portion of the one-time capital expenditure of $135,000, and we'll be getting offsetted operating expenses with income from obviously the client's rents, corporate sponsors, grant fundings, and since we all love to eat, vending machines.
Staff recommends that the council approve the proposed incubator program as well as approve the one-time capital expenditure of $135,000. The staff has done research in a lot of other cities. We've seen the effect that it's had on them, and we think that because of the great place Temecula is, it will be a great place to start your companies, and that's what we want the incubator to create, an environment where people want to come to Temecula because they want to be a part of this incubator project. So we highly recommend the approval of both of these items.
And in conclusion, when we talk about helping local businesses grow and attracting companies and entrepreneurs to the Valley, the staff very highly recommends the Business Incubator Program. So, Madam Mayor, City Council members, this concludes our presentation, and we would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Do we have any city council members that have any questions of staff? Yes.
So the $65,000 budget for the first year of operation, is that on top of the $135,000?
No, the 65,000 is going towards the 135,000, so it's being used to pay for that 135.
Thank you.
Yes.
How much money would it save us if we cut the vending machines and other things listed on your fiscal impact?
As in, we don't put the vending machines in the building?
Yes.
Well, those things aren't things that we're spending money on. They're things that we're creating money on. So we will be paid with client rents. So we're going to give the building to them. We're going to subsidize them, but in return, they're going to give us about $300 a month per workstation. And then it decreases from there. We hope that after 5 years of the incubator being used, we will end up breaking even on this project. So after about 5 years, we hope that the city of Temecula will start making money on the incubator program.
Yes.
You mentioned approximately 20 successes with an incubator program in other cities and in even a university. Are there any past examples of where an incubator may have failed, and if so, why?
An incubator in itself has never failed. There have been companies that have rented spaces and not become what they thought they were going to become, but the incubator has never not been utilized by companies from the city.
And real quick, I would like to say, Ashley said the businesses themselves have failed, not the incubator. The businesses themselves has failed due to internal factors of the business, not due to the help or the mentoring that was provided of the incubator.
How do we decide which businesses we're going to allow in the incubator?
There is a list of recommendations and qualities that the businesses, that we call them our clients, that the clients need to have moving in. They need to present us with a business plan, and we will use that business plan to decide whether or not the city of Temecula thinks this company will be a good thing to have in Temecula, as well as something that will eventually become successful. They also will have a graduation plan. They'll give us a timeline of when they want to be out of the incubator by, and all of those factors will go into deciding who gets to participate in the incubator.
Okay. Do we have any further questions? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Madam City Clerk, do we have any public speakers on this item?
Yes, ma'am, there are 3.
Please call the first speaker.
Willa State.
Good day, Miss Mayor and City Council. My name is Willa State, and I am a local commercial broker here in Temecula, and I also live here, and I am against this incubator project. It is really going to hurt my business. These businesses that are going in the incubator could be renting space from my list of available buildings here. And that means I won't make a lot of money, and that means I can't go to the mall and buy clothes and shoes, and that's gonna hurt your sales tax. That's gonna hurt the city's sales tax. So in fact, this incubator is gonna decrease our sales tax for the city, which is not gonna pay for police and fire services. So I hope you strongly consider this proposal and vote against the incubator. Thank you.
Thank you. Please call the next speaker.
Sarah Palin.
I'm back. Hopefully I'm back in 2016. Putting America back on track. Item number 1. This is exact proof of the liberal invasion of Temecula. Ronald Reagan famously stated, "Government is the problem, not the solution." We are a capitalist system that promotes entrepreneurism. The key philosophy of a capitalist market is minimal government intervention. This is a blatant display of mass government intrusion into the private sector. Once we allow the government to give business assistance, we are on a slippery slope to communism. What's next, City Council? A proposition for equal distribution of wealth? I urge you to please not approve this measure of big government intervention and vote for me in 2016.
Thank you. Please call the next speaker.
I'm a supporter.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Ima Supporter, and I am here today to encourage you to approve this proposal for the business incubator. I think it would be a valuable asset for the community and our businesses here in town, and I am convinced that it will be a success. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, are there any further public comments?
No, ma'am.
At this time, we'll open it up for City Council member discussion. Do we have any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve item number, or rather staff recommendation item number 1.1, and approve an amended item number 1.2 in which the year one fee is lowered to $55,000, thus lowering the one-time fee to $125,000 rather than $135, and approve item number 1.3 as well.
Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Any further discussion? Yes.
Yes, I would like to ask as to why you would like to amend recommendation 1.2.
So as to lower our costs, because I do not feel as though $65,000 is a necessary amount, and I feel $55,000 would suffice.
Are we ready to vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those against?
Nay.
The motion carries 4-1. Item number 2, Long-Range Planning Project number LR09-0007, Small Wind Energy Conversion System Ordinance. An ordinance to establish development standards for allowing small wind energy conversion systems within all zoning districts, with the exception of the Open Space Conservation Zoning District. May we have a staff report, please?
Hello, Madam Mayor, Council, and people of Temecula. I'm Caitlin Starbuck, Director of Community Development, and I would like to begin by acknowledging Ariel and Emily for the help with this presentation. This is a long-range planning project number L907. The background, which is at mayor request, it is first not allowed in open space, which is water courses and no parks. So open space as in land that is undeveloped. The Small Wind Energy Conversion System Ordinance is consistent with the proposed city Sustainability Plan energy goals to encourage clean energy generation, supports California's renewable energy goal of 33% by 2020, consistent with the goals to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, reduces dependence on non-renewable energy sources, reduces air and water pollution from burning fossil fuels, enhances the reliability and quality of electricity, and could increase property values. It is brought to Planning Commission and addressed their concerns. It is allowed by the hillside residential, rural residential, very low residential, is allowed in 1 acre, but is to a minimum lot size of a ½ acre, as well as low medium residential, medium residential, high density residential, community commercial, neighborhood commercial, service commercial, professional office, business park, light industrial, and public institutions. And it is permitted in the use of commercial zones. The maximum height must be 60 feet, and it must be set back from the property lines in 25 feet. will not be allowed in scenic highway corridor within 300 feet of the I-15 right-of-way and prohibited by the FAA regulations. This is pursuant with the California Environmental Quality Act, or SEQA. The city has determined that there is no substantial evidence for the project and could have a significant effect on the environment, and negative declaration has been prepared. On March 6, 2013, Planning Commission recommended City Council approval of a small wind energy conversion system ordinance.
Thank you. Do any council members have any questions of staff? Yes.
So, in the event that a wind energy conversion system is implemented, is there, oh, and that does not follow the given regulation, is there a plan in place to police that?
Yes. They will just have to basically go back to the drawing board and see whether or not it is allowed in the areas, but areas like Meadowview are quite susceptible to having these windmill generators.
Any further discussion? Thank you. At this time, I will ask City Clerk if there are any public comments on this item.
Yes, Madam Mayor, there are 6.
Please bring up the first speaker.
Jacques Autobahn.
Merci. Madame Mayor, I am Jacques Autobahn. I want to know first, who is this Sarah Palin? I think she needs a muzzle. Other than that, I draw birds. I have birds as pets. I love the birds. If you have ever seen the tragedy of a bird flying from one twig to another, and in the middle, smack! A big propeller cuts its neck off. There is blood, there is feathers. In addition, we are not only promoting violence in the birds, we are promoting the coyotes to come and clean up. This is not a community I want to live in. Even if Mr. Quiet was asked if the birds violated some noise contingency here in the city, he would say, I love the birds as well. I know this Mr. Quiet. I divorced his sister, but that is another story. She did not like the wine like I like the wine, if you know what I mean. But the birds, ladies and gentlemen, we don't need any more electricity. We have enough. I would prefer to use a generator than killing the birds. I urge all of you to think carefully before this vote. And I'm now German. I need you to think about the birds. They have done you no harm. Please save the birds from this wicked, tragic event with the propeller. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, will you please call up the next speaker?
Birdman.
Well, hey there, look up on the big screen there. Welcome, thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Birdman, and I'm from Temecula. I am strongly opposed to the wind energy ordinance. I agree with Jack, who just got up here, despite the fact that he's French. But I think it's a terrible thing and very dangerous. My birds are nervous. And my great aunt, Paloma, who lives in Ontario, Canada, she sent me a letter the other day when she found out about this ordinance. She says in her town they passed an ordinance, and over 600 pigeons were killed, along with 1,270 bats. They were killed by the turbines. This is a huge threat to our native birds in the community. My carrier pigeons, like I said, are very nervous and have got themselves in quite a tizzy. I think you should deny this ordinance, save our skies, save our birds, and no wind energy in Temecula.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the next speaker?
Johnny Turbinson.
One little correction, it's Turbinson, but that's okay. Members of the council, as a parent, I support local wind energy and the wind energy ordinance. I want my kids to grow up breathing clean air, and wind turbines help to close down coal power plants. I want my kids to have a choice of working in the country or working in the city, and wind energy provides jobs that they can be proud of. I want my kids to grow up in a world that has found a solution to global warming, and I know that wind farms are part of that solution. I support the ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, are there any more public comments?
Yes, ma'am. We have Hugh Mann.
Council members, I'm Hugh Mann. I'm very upset that this ridiculous ordinance is even being proposed. I'm very much against the building of and construction of these wind turbines in the peaceful city of Temecula. I've lived in the city for 25 years, back when there was only one light on Rancho California Road. There's been an abominable amount of development throughout the years, and these wind turbines are the last straw. They are loud, ugly, and very expensive to build. Heck, the wind doesn't even blow in Temecula all the time. And contrary to what Ms. Starbuck has stated, there's no proof that they will lower energy costs. And furthermore, Ms. Starbuck states that our property values will increase. I don't think so. I believe my property values are going to plummet because of this nonsense. I pay my taxes, and those taxes pay your salaries. I don't think we pay the city council to, or I think we should, or we're paying the city council to come up with better ideas than this. The residents of Temecula don't want to have to stare at these ugly things, and we don't want them in our backyards. Please, do the right thing. Do not allow this in Temecula.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, do we have any more speakers?
Yes, ma'am. We have up next Susie Sunshine.
Hi, my name is Susie, and I am 7 years old and in the 2nd grade, and I like pinwheels. I want an entire wind farm to be built because it looks a lot like a whole giant farm full of pinwheels. That would be fun. I like to watch them spin. My mom says windmills are clean and safe. They are good for animals like my dog, Mr. Pickles. They help with global warming. Global warming is bad. Please build it.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the next speaker?
Big Oil.
Mayor, Council, thank you for letting me speak today. I represent Big Oil and also the patriotic Americans against unpatriotic free air systems. I have here in my hands, verified by me, a petition of 5,000 of your citizens that says we don't want these windmills. Energy is created by oil. We all know that. It's not free. It's not wind. Who are you kidding? So please listen to your citizens, because these are your citizens. They just didn't want to all come today. So it's not my name written 5,000 times, so don't have to check. But please vote no. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll give this to the city clerk. She can hand it.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, are there any more public comments?
No, Madam Mayor.
At this time, we'll open it up for City Council members to speak on this item. Does anyone want to speak? Yes.
I would believe that the parameters set are perfectly reasonable, and in communities with desert-like conditions similar to ours, we've seen wind energy be used effectively. So I believe it is completely reasonable to put these wind energy machines in.
Okay. Yes.
I do not believe that there is any reasonable expectation that if we allow windmills that they're going to start popping up everywhere. So I don't feel as though that's going to be a major issue as many people seem to think. So yes, that's all I have to say.
Anyone else? I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve this this recommendation, item number 2.1.
Are you making a motion to introduce the ordinance from the city clerk?
I am indeed.
From the city attorney, excuse me. Okay. Anyone second?
I second the motion.
City attorney?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I need to read the ordinance. This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Temecula, amending Title 17 of the Temecula Municipal Code to establish citywide standards for small wind energy conversion systems in various zoning districts within the City of Temecula.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries 5-0. Next, we have item number 3, request to allow non-motorized scooters in Temecula Skate Park. May we have the staff report, please?
Good morning, Madam Mayor and members of the council. This morning, the Department of Community Services would like to present a recommendation to approve non-motorized scooters in the Temecula Skate Park during specified scooter hours per the amended skate park schedule. As some of you may know, in 1994, as part of the Rancho California Sports Park Improvement Project, the City of Temecula constructed a skate park at the Rancho California Sports Park. As part of the design process, project committee members toured existing skate park facilities and held public workshops to gather comments and suggestions from interested inline skaters and skateboarders. Based on the information gathered, a master plan for the skate park was approved and adopted by both the Community Services Commission and the Board of Directors. Based on several factors, it was determined by the design committee and the city's risk manager that the Temecula skate park would be open to only inline skaters and skateboarders. The city has operated the Temecula skate park since 1994, allowing only inline skaters and skateboarders to utilize the park. However, recently there has been an increased demand from riders of non-motorized scooters to have access to the Temecula skate park. A recent presentation to staff by local scooter riders has brought to attention the new innovation and technology that has been incorporated into scooter design, which has made them more amenable for use in the skate park environment. Additionally, in keeping up with skating trends, several area skate parks are now allowing scooters access to their skate parks during dedicated scooter sessions. Local scooter riders are leaving Temecula to ride in other skate parks that allow the scooters. At this point, I would like to turn the presentation over to our Deputy Director of Community Services, Ms. Colby Duncan.
Hello and good morning, Mayor Clements and council members. I'm Colby Duncan, Deputy Director of Community Services. Staff has analyzed the option of allowing scooter sessions in the Temecula Skate Park, and after reviewing the proposal with risk management and the city's attorney's office, and at the recommendation of the Community Services Commission, staff is proposing that the council members approve the use of non-motorized scooters in the Temecula Skate Park during specified sessions beginning July 1st, 2013. Attached is a revised schedule which specifies hours of operation for scooters only, as well as a revised liability waiver that will limit the city's exposure to liability from such activity. All applicable skate park fees and safety gear requirements apply. It is noteworthy that there is no anticipated fiscal impact. If you will first look to the revised skate park hours of operation. We have appropriated a schedule that eases the concern of liability. We understand that the individuals who use skateboards are generally older and more experienced than those who use scooters, so we split the sessions up equally between scooters and skateboarders, 2 hours each at an upwards of 3 hours, rotating sessions every other month. The sessions are no longer than they were before. In fact, they are shorter. We found that long sessions became tedious for skateboarders, and they'd leave long before their sessions ended. This schedule should be more efficient for all parties involved. I will now turn it over to Superintendent Mona Figueroa regarding fees.
Good morning, Mayor Clements and council members. I am Mona Figueroa, the Superintendent of the Department of Community Services. As I'm sure we can all agree, the worry for the skate park being open to scooter riders is the effect on the public and on their purses, quite frankly. It should be noted that as per our revised schedule, the hours of the park will be open the same amount of hours before. We will have the same number of staff members as before, and therefore there will be no extra costs to the park, to the city, or to the Temecula citizens. In addition, the park is free to all Temecula residents. The only fee that they have to pay is for a resident card, which is $1 per year. In opening our skate park to scooter riders as well as skateboarders, we can expect more people from all over Riverside County to come to Temecula and skate at our park, which would cost them $5 per session for non-Temecula residents. In addition to them skating, working up an appetite perhaps, they will also visit our local businesses and be contributing to our revenue and to our sales tax revenue. They may also visit local attractions such as the Promenade Mall and things of that sort. The only other cost that any Temecula resident would have to pay is if they perhaps forgot their safety gear. The skate park does have safety gear available for renting. And with that, on safety, I turn it over to our Administrative Supervisor, Simone Everett.
Good morning, Mayor Clemens and the council. I am Simone Everett, the Administrative Supervisor of the Community Service Department. By opening up the skate park to non-motorized scooters, a safer environment for scooter riders is provided. It both keeps the scooters away from the streets or harmful areas while also keeping them from marking or destroying property. The same protective gear that is required of skateboarders is also required of scooter riders. There is gear for rent, which would keep them from getting hurt or scraping anything when they're falling. The minor liability paper, it takes away pressure from the city and they can't get in trouble for anything because there are so many opportunities for safety to be involved. And then if you look again at our schedule, it goes back to separating the ages. So most scooters are younger people, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds. So that's keeping them away from skateboarders who are more experienced and they're not crashing. And then along with that, we have a 30-person minimum in the skate park, maximum in the skate park at once. That's the conclusion of our presentation. I'll give it back to our director, Sydney Underhill.
This concludes our presentation. If you have any questions, we're willing to answer now.
Thank you. Do any city council members have any question for the staff? Yes.
Is there any evidence to support that scooters with their generally younger demographic are any less safe than the skateboarding and inline skating allowed currently?
No, we did plenty of research, and there's skate parks all through Southern California, and we did the research, and we talked with our risk manager, and there's no other liability. So,
thank you.
Yes.
Has the fiscal impact been explored of divvying up the skate park instead of creating separate sessions?
The sessions are still the same. It's just that only skaters can go in at this time, and only scooters can go in at that time.
I know, but have you explored the option of having them both in at the same time as separate parts?
We actually found that there were a lot of concerns and complaints about them skating together because of the liability involved with that, because skateboards tend to be more dangerous than scooters, and also because of the different skill levels, it's just they'd rather keep them separate.
Anything else?
By divvying up the hours of the sessions and making it equal between scooters and skateboarder riders, do you have any evidence supporting that that influx of scooter riders will offset the number of skateboarders that will stop coming to the park based upon that?
Before, when it was just skateboarding, because so many skateboarders stopped or they were going outside, there wasn't as many. And by opening it up to scooters, it would bring in more of the younger population.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Thank you. Madam City Clerk, are there any public speakers on this item?
Yes, ma'am, there are 5.
Please bring up the first speaker.
Mr. Allwheel.
Good morning, Council. My name is Mr. Allwheel. I represent a group. I am the president of the Equal Access for All-Wheeled Vehicles Society. And we are very concerned that your little policy here, although very well intended, appears to be turning into some sort of affirmative action for non-motorized scooters. Have they suffered a pattern of historical discrimination here in Temecula? I would like to bring up that there are some other vehicles that we represent that would like equal access to your facilities here. Certainly bicycles. There are many bicyclists in Temecula. We could create a velodrome track and bring in revenue that way. Maybe unicycles. We could train circus performers here in Temecula if we provided equal access for those folks as well. What about the littlest kids who can't use either of your preferred vehicles? We could put them on big wheels and we could have a kiddie bumper car event and raise money for that. I would buy a ticket for that. So I would just suggest to you to be very cautious and careful, because we will be filing a class action lawsuit against your city should you not be inclusive. And I would just say, do not, in making your final decision, do not let the squeaky wheel of the motorized scooter get in the way of your decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Will you please call up the next person?
Jeff Lawrence.
I'm not that clever. Good evening or morning, council dudes. I'm actually a BMX rider and I like this guy, but I do ride a skateboard and I can't stand scooters. It's always just a bunch of little kids. They don't pay attention or watch what they're doing. Pretty soon, one of them falls down and they just start crying. I don't think they should be putting little kids in the skate park with the older kids. It's just not right. The older kids don't care. They are just going to go there and ride, and they're not going to watch out for these little scooter kids. If you do allow scooters, make sure that they don't allow them when we're riding our skateboards, because we don't want them there. Maybe when they come in the afternoon, after they're done taking their little naps, they can come down and maybe use my skate park. So in conclusion, I just want to let you know, this is a skate park. It was built for skaters, not scooters or anything else, really. So please keep it skate park only. Skateboards.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the next speaker?
Mike Maury.
Yes, thank you. I'm a Temecula resident. I am 18 years old, and I ride scooters in the X Games. And I've won several medals. That's right, several medals. I think that you should definitely make time in the Temecula skate park for scooter riders. This is an up-and-coming sport, and young riders are looking for a place to ride and practice. There is no more danger in riding a scooter than versus rollerblades or skateboards. I have actually been hurt more times on a skateboard than I have on my scooter. It is only fair that you broaden the possibilities for riders of all skating sports like rollerblades, skateboards, and scooters. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the next speaker?
Paula Worthington.
Morning, Council. As the mother of 3 boys who all enjoy riding scooters, I usually spend the entire weekend driving them to other skate parks in San Diego and Riverside County, eating up all my gasoline. It is a shame that we can't stay in our own town and use the Temecula skate park. They see and talk to other kids from Temecula, Murrieta who have the same problem and want a local place to ride their scooters. If you make the rules the same, I think the scooters won't add any additional liability to the city. So I encourage you to allow scooters in the Temecula skate park. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, are there any more speakers?
Yes, ma'am, one more.
Please call the next speaker.
Scooter McGee.
Good morning. I think this is great for our youth. In fact, I think we're overlooking a demographic, and that's your older community. My grandma, she loves her scooter. In fact, I got a picture. That's her at the skate park in Hemet, where they already allow motorized scooters. So I'm wondering why you're not allowing motorized scooters, because I think other cities are doing it, like Hemet and South Florida, Arizona. They're all doing it. So please, you know, my grandma, she has to drive, and you don't want her driving all the way up to Hemet, you know, when she can just come here and use our skate park. So thank you.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, are there any more speakers?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. At this time, we will open it up to council member discussion. Yes.
Yeah, if it's a booming industry among our youth and our elderly, as evidence will attest, I see no problem opening up. If there's no further liability problems, I see no problem opening up the skate park to the scooterers.
All right. Anyone else? Yes.
Before this is approved, I would like to explore the possibility of separating the skate park so skaters and scooterists can enjoy the park at the same time, just so they don't have to postpone their activities until later in the evening.
Okay. I'd actually like to continue this one and think about adding BMX bikes that I know caters to a lot of people, younger generation. We could add a separate skate set or BMX session. So I make a motion to table this until the next meeting.
I second that.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 All those against?
Nay.
Nay.
The motion carries 3-2. The next item, number 4, graffiti abatement restitution rates. May we have the staff report, please?
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Mayor and council members. Today, my city engineer, Ms. Wells, and I would like to put forth the item considering graffiti cost recovery programs. Go on. So, as we know, graffiti is unavoidable. The current city policy is a 24-hour cleanup, which unfortunately costs us $200,000 to $300,000 annually.
Here we have the statistics concerning the number of calls and square feet of cleanup in 2009. We can see there are spikes in cleanup during school breaks. In early 2010, our new aggressive removal program shows a large spike in cleanup, which helped lower cleanup needs later in the year.
First, we must identify what parties should be responsible for restitution. So the law would be applicable to both adults 18 years of age and above and minors under the age of 18. So for minors, parents and legal guardians would be financially responsible. And though we cannot implement policy requiring community service hours to be served, we'd like to ask that it's recommended to the courts as part of the restitution for minors.
The current price for cleanup does not cover practical costs for proper cleanup. Our proposed adjustment is a minimum of $213.38 for up to 50 square feet and an additional $4.68 per square feet exceeding 50 square feet. Costs for special equipment can be added if needed, as well as contract services plus an additional 15%. We asked the city to adopt a resolution to recover our costs associated with cleaning up of graffiti. We had a few letters from citizens in both opposition and support of our proposal that I believe the council has seen. Consistent with one of the letters we received, our recommendation includes community service hours for minors.
Thank you, and that concludes our presentation. We are prepared to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does the council have any questions for the staff? Yes.
Suppose the person who committed this act of vandalism is unknown. Who pockets that bill?
We have the police department research past graffiti marks and link them to people that have been found graffitiing. So we use the police department.
What if we do not find the criminal? Do we ourselves, the city, pay for this?
Yes, until we find the criminal, and they will pay us back the fee.
Any other questions? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam City Clerk, do we have any public speakers on this item?
Yes, ma'am, there's one.
Please bring up the first speaker.
I am poor.
A lot of people here. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. I've never done this. Good morning. Wow. That's a big TV. I don't think you guys should do... I don't think you guys should do this. You know, I'm a poor guy. I'm on food stamps. Gosh, that's big. I'm on food stamps. I can barely make my mortgage or whatever you call that. This proposal is crazy. We all pay our taxes. Why do you need more money to cover this? You already have money that does the city business already. I don't think you should charge any more of it. Why should I have to pay for stuff that my ex-wife kids do? I didn't want to do that. But just don't put the burden on us poor folks. You already have enough money. You already have your taxes to do this stuff. You don't need to tax us anymore. Just keep paying for it the way you're doing it, and don't burden us poor folks. We can't barely get by. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public speakers?
No, ma'am.
All right, moving on. We're going to go to council member discussion. Do we have any discussion? Yes.
One possibility I considered is we spoke about tracing recognized artwork back to its respected owner, if you will, artist, but that poses the problem of artists framing artists and being wrongly incriminated of something that perhaps they did not do. So I'd just like to bring that up.
Okay. Any other? Yes?
My main concern with this is charging parents for reimbursing the city on behalf of their children. Perhaps they did not know their child was out and they committed this crime. And I would like to explore a way to find, maybe to avoid that in particular.
Okay. Any other comments? No? Is there a motion? I'll entertain a motion.
I move to deny this bill, or not bill rather, but this recommendation.
All right. All those in favor? Oh, sorry. Second? Anyone second?
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against?
Nay.
All right, the motion is carried 4-1.
Madam Mayor, I wanted to speak. Why does she get a vote? Ma'am?
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to come back for other public comments.
Well, but I wanted to speak. If she's gonna vote, I want to speak.
She's not voting, sir.
Oh, who's voting?
We are, sir.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Moving on, item number 5, local vendor preference program. May we have a staff report, please?
Well, good morning, Madam Mayor and City Council members. This is the local vendor preference program. My associate, Luis Gonzalez, will bring up a PowerPoint.
Yes. So hello, good morning, Mayor, council members, directors, internet and TV viewers. It's wonderful to be here. So I will be introducing this local vendor preference program. And we have here our recommendations, our staff recommendations, which are actually, thank you. Sorry. It's not that one. Or is it? That one. Yes, thank you. Okay, sorry. So basically, this is our local vendor preference program. We're going to give you a summary of the ordinance first. So, Mr. Richardson.
Oh, yes. The meaning of this ordinance is to establish a local vendor preference program for businesses within Temecula. The ordinance is for the city of Temecula and for local businesses to bring about local trade by allowing businesses in Temecula the chance to remain competitive in pricing with other businesses outside of Temecula and to stimulate the local economy.
Excellent. Okay. So basically, the background is that these are just giving preferences to local businesses that provide similar prices for their products. There is no fiscal impact. That is a very important point. Just pointing that out. So right now, a lot of cities throughout the United States, because of the national situation with the economy, many have implemented local vendor preferences, which basically provide a preference to local businesses. Examples of cities that have done such a thing are the city of Lake Elsinore, city of Murrieta, Wildomar, Riverside, San Diego. Each of them have implemented something from 1% to 5%. Here in Temecula, we're planning to implement a 5% vendor preference. Then there's staff recommendations.
Yes, the staff recommendations would be a preference of 5%. It's not bringing down the amount to that, but for a chance for local businesses to compete with other outside companies and whatnot to match their lowest bid. They would have one business day to match that bid, and if not, it would be given to the next person within 5% of the preference.
So again, if a company is providing a price somewhere around 5% as the lowest we will give the local company the opportunity to match that price. So it's not really we still are providing competitive prices. It's just we're trying to provide some stimulation to the local economy.
And likewise, the definition of a local vendor would be a valid business license issued by the city of Temecula. They have a local business that operates in Temecula on a day-to-day basis. In competitive prices, we also do have a point system that would deal with the RFPs, or requests for proposals, that would deal with the services, not just based solely on the amount of prices, but the quality that the services they can provide and the amount of money that it would cost based on a point scale.
Yes. So now we will open up to any questions or comments from council members or mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the staff? I have one. What will be the economic benefit for this?
Well, because this is providing more economic, this is just providing some stimulation towards the local economy. So businesses or the government here can buy anything that is, I believe, let me go back to that.
By stimulating the economy by bringing money back into the city of Temecula. Therefore, we would be spending the money back into the local economy. It would be spent back into Temecula instead of having money flow outside of our city.
So that way the money comes back as jobs and money towards our sales tax. So it's re-stimulating our own economy.
Do you have any examples of failures?
Not that we know of, no.
Failures in what sense?
Where it just didn't work, because it seems like some of them were 1%, some were 5%. Why did we choose 5%?
Oh, well, the 5%, the 1%, it's not that we're lowering the prices or we're keeping the same prices for the preference. It's that we're giving local businesses the chance to match the prices of outside local businesses that offer their services or their quotes to us.
So we believe that the best percentage would be 5%, mainly due to other cities implemented this differently. We allowed companies to match the prices. However, other cities just kind of allowed the company to not match the price. So if a product was $200, but the lowest company was actually offered like $195, we provide the opportunity for the company to match the $195 price. However, other cities like Lake Elsinore, for example, which provided 3%, they just paid the $200 instead of letting it match. So we think that the 5%, along with that equaling of prices, is the best opportunity for the city's growth.
Okay. Are there any more questions? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam City Clerk, do we have any public speakers on this item?
Yes, ma'am, there's one.
Please call up the person.
Joe, CEO.
I am so excited. I own a company called Local Vendor. And it's great that you guys are like making this thing just so that I get some preference here. I sell office supplies, asphalt, street signs, computers. I sell freeways, gardeners, massage therapists, copier centers, anything. And I'm so excited that I'll get to be your only vendor. So whatever the bid is, I don't know how this works, but whatever the lowest one, just add 4%, that's me. I'm just gonna put it in there, and then I'm looking forward to doing business with like every staff member in this whole city hall. So thanks.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, are there any more public comments?
No, ma'am.
All right, at this time, I'll open it up to council meeting discussion. Do we have any discussion? Yes?
Well, as the City Council of Temecula, I would believe that first and foremost, we serve Temecula and their residents, and among them would be business owners.
All right. Yes?
I cannot see any downside to this, seeing as we are not losing money on these bids, because rather than actually having to pay the 5% more, they're going to have to match that price. So we're not losing any money in that process, and we're also stimulating our local economy by bringing that money back to our local businesses. So I'm for this.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else?
Perhaps the chance to make it kind of a sunset law, where we can maybe try it out for a while, see if it works or not. What do you guys think about that? Because there is the potential downside that it could have negative economic impact, as certain cities do thrive off of having big corporations in their town.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move to ask the city attorney to introduce the ordinance and also move to approve recommendation 5.2.
Any seconds?
I second that motion.
All right, city attorney.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Ordinance number 13-0189642392 10075. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Temecula adding Chapter 3.30 to the Temecula Municipal Code to establish a local vendor preference program and amending sections 3.28.020, 3.28.220, 3.28.260, and 3.32.010 of the Temecula Municipal Code to integrate the local vendor preference policy into the city's purchasing system.
Thank you. Any further discussion? No? Madam City Clerk, will you please call for a roll call vote?
Of course. Councilmember Bowers?
Yes.
Hammock?
Aye. Yes.
Henning?
Aye.
Wilkinson?
Aye.
And Mayor Clements?
Aye. The motion passes 5-0. That completes City Council reports. We're now under departmental reports. We've read them at this time and understand them. Is there any discussion that we have here? No? All right, moving on. Madam City Manager, do you have a report?
Yes, I do. I'd like to acknowledge that Temecula Valley High School has recently opened up their new theater. It's 800 seats and it's state-of-the-art. And we are working with the school district to create a joint use contract so the community as well can enjoy this beautiful theater. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam City Manager. Does anyone have anything further? No?
Yeah, let them give their oral reports.
Okay. Police Chief Caleb Ruggieri. Oh, Fire Chief, sorry. Police Chief Nick Radosich.
Good morning, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, and city staff. We're here today to talk to you about a new technology that we'd like to implement known as the Automatic License Plate Reader System, or ALPR, as it's known. This system would help to improve officer productivity and improve the quality of life for citizens as well as officer safety. It's been around for decades, but we're now just beginning to want to implement it here. It's been very beneficial, and we'd like to speak to you about it today. I would now like to hand it over to my lieutenant, who will speak about how the system works.
Good morning. Okay, so the automatic license plate reader system is a system that gets mounted on our patrol cars. It is not capable of being mounted on our motorcycles. But what it does is it operates at a very high speed and takes pictures of license plates of cars as we drive by them, sit parked, wherever. And it cross-references those in less than 1 second with the state and federal databases, so we can search for, so it searches for criminal, Amber Alert vehicles, whatever it may be, so we can help protect the public. The system will take a JPEG image and it will cross-reference it, and it'll have the GPS location of where the picture was taken. And it operates a lot faster than a normal deputy would be able to, and it protects officers by not tying up the radio lines and dispatchers searching for the license plate in their databases. One con may be that we don't know exactly where the vehicle is when we get a hit, but it's in our general area, so if it says, for example, Honda, we can look around for the Honda that it may be. With the image, we can match it right away. That's it.
Good morning. So I'm going to go over the financial information of how we're going to pay for the ALPR. And we're going to purchase 1 unit of ALPR on a test basis, and each unit costs $30,000. However, we can purchase the unit through grants from Homeland Security. And what we would do is use 1 pilot unit for 6 months to a year, and we will bring back data to City Council on its effectiveness. And at this time, we will entertain the possibility of purchasing more units.
These systems have been used throughout California and throughout the country through local agencies such as San Bernardino Sheriff System, the LAPD, U.S. Border Patrol, and CHP. All of those agencies have seen increases in recovery of stolen vehicles and vehicles used in crimes, such as Ohio State has already seen a 50% increase in vehicle recoveries. So we believe that this system would be very beneficial to our city and will help to improve the quality of life as well as officer safety. This concludes our presentation. I would like to open up to any questions you may have.
Thank you. Do we have any council questions for the staff? No. Thank you very much. Madam City Clerk, do we have any public speakers on this?
No, ma'am.
All right. At this time, I'll open it up for the council to discuss.
Fire Chief.
Oh, all right. Moving on, we have the Fire Chief, Caleb Ruggieri.
Good day, Mayor Clements and fellow City Council members. Right here in front of me, I have the report for the City Fire Service statistics for the first quarter of the fiscal year 2012 to 2013. The attached statistics are for services provided under the Riverside County Fire Department contract. These are operational emergency response calls performed by the fire engine and trunk company staff for emergency calls provided to the city of Temecula. As the fire chief, I continually monitor our response time so as to evaluate any trends that could affect our ability to better reach our goal of responding faster to emergencies. One area of concern is the growth and its effect on response times as traffic service levels increase as a response to this growth. As you can see in the statistics in your agenda packet, we have 1,793 calls that have been made in the city limits of Temecula. Of those calls, 1,472, or at least 80%, have been for medical aid and traffic collision. The advanced life support system of providing paramedics on our fire engines has definitely benefited the community and has allowed appropriate priority thanks to these resources. We continue to see an increased percentage of calls as expected in response to the growing population in and around the city. On average, this will likely stay consistent over the coming years with an approximate 6 to 10% increase each year. This increase is consistent throughout the county. We encourage all council members, commission members, and city management staff to tour our fire department facilities, the functions provided under the contract. The fire department's day-to-day activities are critical components to the city's point of service needs. Many of the services performed on a daily basis are required to effectively assist the city during the times of disaster. We openly and continually promote the review of our emergency response processes to ensure the city of Temecula, as a valued customer, is always the services expected within the contract. And now I'm leaving it open to any questions.
Does any council member have any questions? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does anyone have anything further?
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Mayor, I'm the new employee, Johnny Lightning. I'm not on the agenda, but I just wanted to let you know I appreciate you hiring me to change all the light bulbs in City Hall. And I'm hoping that if I prove worthy, you'll pay me for the job.
All right, thank you
I
very
love
much.
it here.
Thank you.
It's a great place to work. And if I get paid, it'll be even better. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Should we call a vote? All those in favor? Someone second? Aye? All right. All those in favor? Aye. All those against?
Nay.
The motion passes 3-2. Thank you.
You're adjourned.
Okay, so we are going to go ahead and move forward with the election. And you know what? You have an amazing city clerk, Kendra Wilson. And I'm going to turn it over to her because she is set. She knows what to do. She's on the ball, and she's going to tell you how this is going to go. So I'm going to turn it over to her, and I'm going to be her assistant.
All right, so now we're going to have those who are running for City Council give their speeches. I'm going to go in order on the ballot, and if you are not on the ballot but would like to run for City Council, you may give your speeches after those that are on the ballot. Now, this ballot is random ordered, that is randomly chosen by the Secretary of State, so it's random. First up, we have Brittany Armstrong.
I was excited about the random because I was like, Armstrong, I'm going to go first if it's alphabetical, but I still got stuck at the top. I just wanted to start with, aren't we lucky? Aren't we lucky as teenagers to be welcomed into City Hall and get to participate in a program like this? But more importantly, aren't we lucky that we live in a town, in a city, where every single fast food chain known to teenagers is here? We can drive 5 minutes in every direction and find a California burrito. And that's exciting. So I was thinking about, the cost of, getting a double-double on Friday nights after the football game. And I think it's almost sad that we spend that much money on double-doubles and California burritos, but I think every teenager does deserve them. So I want Temecula Valley to open up and focus on creating more teenage jobs. And I'm not talking about, the job in the back of the kitchen at McDonald's, although that is a great outlet. I'm going to ask on City Council, I would ask for jobs like credit unions and banks to open their doors to teens so that we can learn the people skills that we need to have a successful career and just a life in general in our society. I think that after a hard week of schoolwork and extracurriculars, sports practices, you got to grab that McDonald's shake on the way home from, wherever you're coming home from. So I think that we do need to work on students getting jobs in the workforce, whether that be our career centers in our schools, helping students find those jobs, or just talking to local businesses and getting them to actively seek teenagers in the community. So I'm running for student council, for city council, on the stance that we do need more jobs for Temecula, especially for the teens in Temecula. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brittany. And next up, we have Caitlin Starbuck.
Come on up, Caitlin.
Hello, I'm Caitlin Starbuck, and I am actually a junior, and I'm coming here for the experience. Don't worry, I'm not voting. It's all nice. But I am heavily involved in the community, as well as Assistance League, and heavily involved in my school. I'm an ASB, so I'm a part of those little leadership projects that have brought us to being the top 2% of most spirited in the nation. And I have the stance of wanting to share organization and budgeting and other leadership skills and things that we could bring all together to make the community great, because I guess it starts here. We started little as a community on grapes, and now look where we are. So that is where I stand. Yeah.
And next we have Ariel Self.
Okay, my name's Ariel. I'm a senior and I go to Great Oak High School. Throughout my high school experience, I've obviously taken many AP classes, and now I'm in the IB program. I've been the captain of the varsity water polo team. As for my leadership skills, I have an ROP class at my high school that basically a business class, and I am CEO of this business. I run it. I am of the belief that we live in a very blessed city, and we're lucky to live here. And because of that, we should be giving back to the community. And many of the ways I have done this is through my church, our YMCA here, and Boys and Girls Clubs. I've lived here my entire life, so I do know this city very well. And I hope you vote for me. That's it.
Next, we have Allison Wilkinson.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Allison Wilkinson. And Leslie Knope once said that no one can do anything alone. And that statement doesn't ring any truer than in local government. It takes not just one person, but a group of people to get things done. And that is why I want to run for city council. Having lived in Temecula for a number of years, I've seen the tireless efforts of our city council members, and I felt now was the time to run for city council. If I were elected, my primary goal would be continuing to keep Temecula among the safest cities in the country through training of a proactive police force and encouraging young people to pursue a career in law enforcement. After safety concerns falls community youth involvement, such as citywide activities for young people, even potentially working with the school district to promote integrative programs across different schools, such as mentoring programs for middle and high school students. Finally, there are general community improvements, such as maintaining our historic landmarks. While most of Temecula is at its best already, I would attempt to identify areas in need of restoration, repair, or renovation in order to make sure that all of Temecula is at its best. With Temecula at its safest, youth programs in effect, and the city in its best shape, the hope would be that we continue to attract families and tourists as we have for decades now. Thank you.
Next, we have Brandon Hammock.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, my name is Brandon Hammock, as she said. Hammock, like the thing you lay in. That's who I am. It is a pleasure to be here. I have this paper, but true to any efficient bureaucratic model, I'd like to keep the paperwork to a minimum. So I'm just gonna put that right here and reference it as needed. As the son of an active duty United States Marine, I have lived in 16 houses, 4 states, and on the coasts of all 3 oceans bordering the United States. And in addition to that, I was born into poverty by teenage parents in a little seaside town in Florida that nobody's ever heard of, Newport Richey. It's where I'm from. Nobody gives a shout out because nobody's ever heard of it, and that's the way it works. But with that, I believe I have gained experience and insight that is key to any public policy representative and maker. Referencing my paperwork. This travel and economic diversity allows me to understand really every member of the community and where they come from, each walk of life. And again, I just find that imperative for someone who's representing the community. Furthermore, as the lead news anchor at my student television news network, 2 years running, I have established myself as a respected figure on my campus, Chaparral. Way to go, Pumas. And I work closely with leaders throughout my campus on a day-to-day basis. I have a repertoire with all of them. And as they have iterated twice, I have a finger pressed closely against the pulse of everything that is Chaparral High School, which again, as a representative agent, I find that quite important. So I believe that these qualifications, along with many not mentioned, and my genuine desire to serve our community make me a great choice for a spot on the Youth City Council. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Dylan Henning.
My name is Dylan Henning. I see I'm put at a disadvantage after being after those two. I have moved around a lot, as Brandon has. And I actually currently do not live in Temecula. I live in Fallbrook. But as you can see, there's a reason I'm commuting here every day. And I do believe that this is a very, very great city. We are put at so many advantages to many other people around the nation. And I really don't see how much can be improved, but there are certain things that I would like to do if I were elected, or pretend to like to do. And those would be, as I think Brittany said, is provide more of an outlet for students to actually get job training and actually have an outlet so that they can get jobs, because as of now, it is nearly impossible to find a job. I've been looking for ages now, and I just recently found one at a climbing gym, so there's not really much that I've done. Yeah, sorry, I'm quite ill-prepared. But I do feel as though there should be more of a school should be more, schools should make their goal more to prepare students for a workforce life and everything like that, rather than just an education. It should be implemented so that they actually provide these sort of utilities for students. So if I were elected, I would attempt to do something along those lines. Thank you, and yeah.
Next, we have Cassandra Torres.
I'm also a child of service people, but my side would be the education and then police force, as my uncle's on the SWAT team in Marietta, so I understand you guys. What? As a councilwoman, I would push more towards getting businesses to move here so that we would have more sales tax, so that we could fund our educational programs as well as our service people, so that we can build more recreational centers for our teens, because I know that there is a low amount of areas that we find, so we have to go out to other cities to find fun. But I still wanted to say here, I want people to come to Temecula to spend money so that we can have more jobs, so our unemployment will dwindle, and then we will have just more per capita, I guess, money, as you guys would say. I don't have anything else to say. I think that's just pretty much it. I just want more jobs, more money, and then more funding to go to service people so that we can have better programs like this and have better education for our students.
Next up is Mona Figueroa.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I am running for City Council. My name is Mona Figueroa. I'm afraid this might be treasonous because I have family members who work for the City of Temecula and the City of Marietta. So they don't know I'm here right now, but you know, I was thinking about Temecula, and it's been said that, you know, we have a 90% approval rating or something like that, and you know, it is so great. I am so glad that I do have ties to Temecula. I go to school here, and really that is my family's only connection with the city, but God, I'm glad it exists. And I was thinking of what to say up here, and I was like, well, what can I complain about? And the truth is, there's nothing. Well, actually, that's not true. I thought of one thing. I thought, we need more Walmarts. And I was about to base my entire campaign on that, but then I thought against it. Thinking about Temecula and how important small government is, it reminded me of a particular scene, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with the American version of the television show The Office, but there is a scene wherein Jim and Dwight are on a conference, no, not a conference call. They're trying to get a new client, and at the beginning of the meeting, Dwight calls one of the big guys, Staples or something, and they're on hold for the entirety of the meeting, and then Jim calls up Dunder Mifflin, and Dunder Mifflin, this is Callie, customer service, how can I help you? I think that shows the responsiveness of smaller organizations, and in being a city government, a local government, I think that that's the most important thing about it, is being responsive to the community and to their needs. And so I plan on keeping Temecula as fabulous as it is. Thank you.
Next, we have Luis Gonzalez.
Hello, good morning. I was actually not aware that we had to, well, I mean, I knew we had to prepare a speech, but I wasn't really thinking that it'd be all formal. So, improv. So, hello, my name is Luis Gonzalez. I'm running for council member, and the reason is because, the reason why I want to be council member is because not as much as what I can do and what I know, but because of what I want to learn. I'm a strong believer that government starts in the local. If you want to change something, if you want to change the status quo, if you want to keep something just as good as it was, you have to start at the local government. And I'm a strong believer in the phrase "we the people," and I think the best way that we the people, the way that we affect our own government, the way that we change our politics, our whatever it is. The best way to do this is through our local government, because if the place that we as individuals can go to our council members or our elected officials and tell them, you know, we want this changed, and they can talk to their bosses, representatives, something, and eventually it moves on from local government to regional to Senate to federal. So it gets stuff done, and I think I guess it's very bottom-up way of thinking. So I believe, I'm a strong believer in that. So I'm very interested in knowing how that's done and how it is that our local government works and stuff. So please elect me as your council member for that. So thank you.
Next up is Jade Richardson.
Hello, my name is Jade Richardson. I'm a longtime resident of Temecula for 18 years now. I would like to say, though, that although Temecula is great, we do live in a Temecula bubble, as I like to call it. I believe our unemployment rate is below the national average, along with a lot of other things. Do you have a balanced budget, like Mr. Washington had said? Sorry, excuse me. But the problem I see, though, in Temecula is the allocation of school funds. Endlessly, I hear every day it's about how we don't have enough funding for schools and what we need to do and what we need. I know we understand that we get a small partition of money from Pechanga, $10,000, which really is nothing at all comparatively for a school of 3,500 students in Great Oak and all the other schools too. So I would think it would be very beneficial to increase school fundings along with having a balanced budget, which is very nice. I think it would be very important to make Temecula the cultural and the tourist capital of Southern California, taking it away from San Diego, increasing revenues, sales taxes, and the sort. Thank you.
On the ballot was Caleb Ruggieri, but he is not running for city council. So we have Kiana Bowers.
Hi guys, I'm Kiana Bowers, and you should elect me for the city council because I'm very passionate about government, local, federal, and state level, even though we can all agree that at state and federal level it's not as effective. But that is actually what I want to do with my life, is make it more effective so it can come down to the city levels. I want to be a lobbyist when I grow up. Next year I'll start at Pepperdine and start that journey with my education. And I think it's crucial that we have people in the federal government telling them, leave the little guys alone. So I want to start right here today. Well, actually, I've already started. I used to work for State Senator Joel Anderson when he had an active office in Temecula. I spent a summer working with the mayor of Los Angeles, Antonio Villaraigosa. Never actually spoke to him, and couldn't pronounce his name well, but I worked there. And thanks to Mr. Chuck Washington, I worked with the polls for the 2012 election. So I'm no stranger to politics. I love it. It's complicated. Sometimes it's dirty, but that's what people like me and everyone else that's here running are for, to kind of clear up the politics and make it better for Temecula. And Temecula is already a great, great place, but I think I bring a viewpoint of what students like us are thinking. I want to be able to participate and let the city council know what we're thinking, what our opinions are on a lot of projects that are starting up and that may be projects they should start. So remember that when you're checking on your ballot. Thank you.
Next, we have Emily Bledsoe. Sorry if I said that wrong.
Thank you. I'm Emily Bledsoe, and I'm running for City Council. And I have lived in Temecula for 8 years. I'm an AP and IB student at Great Oak. And I just want to say how much I love Temecula, and I love how Mrs. Arvin says it's the Temecula bubble. We're this family-oriented community, and it's so safe, and everyone can just, most of the time, get along. And that's one of the major things that I believe in, is keeping it the safe and family-oriented community that it is, and growing and changing, like it says back here, old traditions, new opportunities, and keeping it the way we all love it, but growing and becoming an even better city. And I do have some leadership that I've done. I'm in Great Oak's Young Conservatives Club, and I'm the treasurer. And I've worked in our choir to build it up from a small, really unknown program to the great choir that it is now. And I really support making new programs for the teens in Temecula to be able to get jobs and to learn skills that they'll be able to use after high school and to help them get into good colleges. And yeah, thanks.
Next, we have those who are not on the ballot come up and give their speech if they would like to run for City Council.
Hello, my name is Duran Delgadillo. I'm a senior from Great Oak. And like many people mentioned before, having trouble to find a job as a teenager, especially here in Temecula, it's really difficult. I don't know if any of you have tried, but I tried, and for 4 or 5 months I had no luck, really unsuccessful. And to be in that position as a teenager, when you have your parents bugging on you to get a job, I don't know if that's me, I'm pretty sure I share that experience though. It's really just a pain. And what I would like to emphasize, one thing, is student job workshops and having the schools work more with the local businesses to help us teenagers get jobs and start teaching us the work skills, the people skills, and the leadership skills that we're going to need for college, that we're going to need just later for life, no matter what path we choose. One other thing, too, I'd like to emphasize is, I don't know if any of you have noticed, maybe later at night, earlier in the morning, one of the more underspoken or overlooked populations of Temecula is really the homeless. And I would like to think if you talk to them or meet any of them, they're mostly veterans. It's really homeless veterans. Like I come from a long line of active duty service members. My dad's currently active duty, getting back from a deployment. And I think what we could really do for the veterans is create more workshops, job workshops, and give more back to them, because they gave the ultimate sacrifice to us. So I think we could encourage local businesses to do more for veterans through donations, food, clothing, or simply just going out there, just being that ear, being that someone to talk to, and just so they don't feel so left out, so they know we're still here for them, that we haven't forgotten. And that's all I have. Again, I'm Duran Delgadillo.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christina Ryan, and I am running for City Council. And with that, I want to make sure that Temecula has the opportunity to reach its absolute full potential. as a city. I've lived in Temecula for a many number of years now, and I've noticed certain things that I would like to change. My main goal is that the traffic problems we have here in Temecula. By creating a more efficient, better means of public transportation system for people that are commuting to their jobs outside of Temecula and people that don't have, that it's not a convenient way to drive around town. Also, by expanding and widening the roadways here, I think it would make it more convenient for Temecula citizens, tourists, and it would just make Temecula move a little bit more efficiently. It would be an absolute honor to be part of City Council, and I would love to continue to see Temecula grow and thrive as a city. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Frances Clements, and I'm from Temecula Valley High School. Already a crown jewel of the Inland Empire, Temecula is widely known for its bountiful wineries, Pechanga Casino, rich history, and family-oriented values. I have been a resident of this amazing city for nearly 10 years, and in that time, our population has almost doubled in size. At this rate of growth, what our city needs now are individuals with an eye to the future. We have outstanding opportunities here. More businesses are relocating to Temecula, and housing demands continue to grow. Now is the time to focus on the city's infrastructure and our needs for the future. With the new hospital opening this year, demand will rise for medical staff and medical support services. As a result, we will need to turn our attention to traffic congestion and the increased need for emergency personnel. As a city council member, I will support balanced growth in these areas. I believe the long-term success of this city rests on the individuals who dedicate their time and efforts in conjunction with the beliefs and values of their constituents. With forward thinkers like myself on the council, the city of Temecula can have a bright future. As President Ronald Reagan once said, Temecula has a can-do spirit. Vote for me, and together we can. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is all the candidates for the City Council. And we have our City Council. Allison Wilkinson. Brandon Hammock. Dylan Henning. Kiana Bowers. And Frances Clements.